Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith. Final preview and breakdown and prediction coming up live here on BWTM Sports Gaming. Don't go anywhere. Yep, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith. So let's get straight to this preview and prediction. Let's get up to speed. The weigh-in. Before we get to the weigh-in, let's talk a little bit more about this fight because there's some things about this fight. There's two lines in particular that I don't entirely agree with, and two lines in this fight I don't get it. So the first line that's thrown out is, well, Chris Eubank Jr., anytime he steps up to world level, he fails. But wait, the guy he's fighting, Liam Smith, has stepped up twice against Hyman Gia and Canelo. And in both times, he got beat up. So he stepped up and he failed. Did he not step up and fail? The guy who won the WBO title off, I don't know who that guy was. I remember I like Liam Smith, and when he won the world title, I was excited for him, but I didn't know who the guy was he beat. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, again, things that don't make sense for this fight. The other line that doesn't make sense is that people say, well, Chris Eubank can't box. Okay. And he's a slugger, and, you know, he needs to improve on this and that. So then he gets a trainer in who's one of the best to ever do it. And, I mean, I can see that Eubank's style has changed. He's not rushing and throwing 1,000 punches. And because he's doing that, people saying Roy's changed his style. And Roy kind of slapped it straight back in the face and said, look, I was a guy who could box, who could move, who could stand in, sit in the pocket. I could do various things. That's what made me great. And I'm telling you now, Chris can do all those things. I went back to watch a fight with Chris Eubank recently. I think it was a tall southpaw. I think it was the fight where his brother Sebastian passed away a few days before that. And he fought a tall southpaw who had a lot to say for himself. Eubank stopped him with a body shot. And that was quite significant for me because Eubank's a guy who likes to throw a lot of head punches. But in this particular fight, he was throwing the body shots. He was fighting a tricky southpaw, a guy who was advertised one way and came out another way. So he was able to adapt and stop his opponent. People will look at that and go, well, didn't really matter. To me, it matters a lot. If you stop a guy with a body shot, and the way he's stopping a guy with a body shot is interesting, particularly because you can't knock everybody out to the head. And the way he was throwing those body shots reminded me very much of when Virgil Hill fought Roy Jones and Roy Jones hit him with a body shot and stopped him. The way Chris is throwing that body shot, he's got that same viciousness that Roy had. And I take little things in like that. Now, this thing about, so I believe that Roy is making Chris into being a better fighter. Don't listen to those guys who don't understand about boxing or the science of boxing and are biased and are there to sell a narrative. The narrative is Chris Eubank's a villain. What has he done to be a villain? What exactly has Chris Eubank done to be a villain? Has he popped positive for a banned substance? Why is he? Because he's articulate and speaks his mind and won't allow people to talk any rubbish about him and he can stand up for himself? Does that make him a villain? I don't understand. What is a villain? And then what makes Liam Smith a hero? I'm trying to understand these sort of, I don't understand it. Okay, now I want to look at this. I want to look at this for 1 second. Here's the sort of thing. This is sort of comment. I'm glad you brought this comment up, Toby, because I want you to be right here afterwards. Because you've been in boxing all your life as an amateur and a journalist. If you think Eubank is going to beat Beefy, I'm really perplexed. Roy hasn't made any world champions, mate. Great fighter doesn't make a great trainer. Now, the difference between me and you is it's simple. You talk about journalists, one breath, and in the other breath, you turn around and tell me, Roy hasn't done anything. Well, I can tell you one guy that's been on the channel, regularly on the channel, who I've seen develop under Roy Jones Jr. And I made that comparison last show. But anyway, I'm not here to argue. I'm not going to argue with people here. That's not why. This is my preview show. So this is my thoughts, right? You can bring me your thoughts afterwards and it's fine. Now, this is where a lot of people get caught up in hype. But you guys sit down and watch fights. Watch fights. Liam Smith is supposedly this skilled, super skilled opponent. Super skilled boxer. I like Liam Smith. But I'm not going to be fooled, or I'm not going to be led down a garden path about what Liam Smith isn't. Liam Smith puts his hand. If you look at any Liam Smith fights, he takes punches flush on the chin. He gets hit. You look at the Haim and Gia fight. Haim and Gia, right, is as basic can be. Yes, he's big, he's strong, he's tall, he's long. He's basic. Fundamentally, he's basic. There's nothing flashy about Haim and Gia. And for people to say, well, Liam Smith, he's a great boxer. I saw Haim Gia, pardon my French, beat the shit out of Liam Smith. Beat the shit out of Liam Smith, right? He hit Liam Smith with every punch in the book. Right uppercut, left hook, right hand, overhand right. Haim Gia was actually throwing punches and making it up as he was going along. So for a guy like Liam Smith, who's supposedly meant to be such a skilled boxer, Haim Gia was making him, walking him back to ropes and then winging him big uppercuts and big right hands to Liam Smith. That's Haim Gia. And Haim Gia, yes, he's big, he's strong, and he's long, but he's got slow hands and slow feet. Falls like a mummy. As for Canelo, he's another one. Canelo's not got fast hands. He may hit harder. He's not got fast hands. He's not got fast feet. So Eubank is much faster than both of those guys, and naturally more athletic than Canelo and Haim Gia. So this is something I really am struggling with. Watch Liam Smith fights. He gets hit with a lot of shots within, and I see things about Liam Smith which worry me. I like Liam Smith. Things that worry me about Liam Smith about this fight is a few things. When Liam Smith gets hurt, the first thing he does is smile. Smile. If you go back and look at the Haim Gia fight and the punches he was getting hit with, the left hook, Eubank has got a check left hook, which is very good. Now, listen to what I'm saying here. Eubank has got a very good check left hook, which he uses here. The right uppercut, another one of Chris Eubank's best punches, the right uppercut. And now Eubank is bringing that body shot in this one. Smith talks about Eubank being weak to the body. Look at what Haim Gia, the first time Haim Gia started going to Smith's body, what happened? Again, this is Haim Gia. This is Haim Gia. And that's when Smith fought him at light middleweight. So I want to know, now the world I came from of boxing is to hit and not get hit. If you look at what Haim Gia was doing to Liam Smith, he was bigger, he was stronger, and he was physically just outmatching him. So it doesn't matter the skill set that Liam Smith has got. Yes, he's got some skills. I'm not disputing that. Yes, he had a good amateur record and he was British champion and he won the WBO championship. Yes. But don't blow this out to be this. He's the second coming of Roy Jones or something. He's not. He's good. He's basic. He's 1, 2, 3. And if somebody thinks that, he's just going to come in there and outwork Chris Eubank like that, he couldn't outwork Haim Gia. He couldn't outwork Haim Gia. And when Haim Gia put it to Smith, Smith was taking big shot after big shot. Yes, he had his moments in there, but at no point in time did he trouble Haim Gia with punching power. So I'm a bit perplexed into where people see this, Liam Smith is strong coming down the stretch. Well, where did he come strong down the stretch against Hyman Gear? I didn't see it. I saw him getting beaten up against Hyman Gear. And Eubank is a vicious finisher. When he puts his combination together, they are blistering. That's my concern in my fight for Liam Smith. I am seriously concerned for him getting blistered up. And he gets cut early in fights. He gets cut very early in fights. And he's there to be hit. You don't really want to be getting hit by someone like Chris Eubank Jr. So, okay, Eubank has a jab problem. Okay. Is Smith's jab that good? That's going to beat Chris Eubank? Is Smith's jab that good? When you're talking about fighters that are beating Chris Eubank Jr., are you telling me that Liam Smith is a better boxer than Billy Joe Saunders? Is that what you're trying to sit down and tell me? Are you trying to tell me that Liam Smith is defensively better than Arthur Abraham and punches harder than Arthur Abraham? Are you telling me that? Are you telling me that Liam Smith... Wait, hold on. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. The guys that beat Eubank Jr., first it was George Groves. Right? George Groves beat Chris Eubank Jr. when Eubank Jr. was not listening to any trainer. So we look at that fight. And I told you about the George Groves fight and what had happened to Eubank. The Billy Joe Saunders fight was even closer because for the first 6 rounds, Eubank's dad was in the corner and Eubank did nothing for the first 6 because he didn't do the 12 rounds at a certain pace. So he left it for the last 6 rounds. If Eubank had done the right thing and had a fight, a couple more fights, and then gone for Billy Joe Saunders, we might have looked at a totally different fight. So those are 2 fights where Eubank, earlier in his career, he'd been beaten. Now he's had Roy in his corner and he's actually listening to a trainer. That's a totally different fighter to the guy we're talking about then to now. It wasn't prime Arthur Abraham. It didn't need to be prime Arthur Abraham because there's some things that you don't lose. First thing, Arthur Abraham's defense is better than Liam Smith. When have you seen Arthur Abraham get beat up the way Liam Smith gets beat up? Arthur Abraham is, he's got a rock solid chin. He's a guy that tucks up very well and he punches extremely hard. Oh, so it wasn't prime Arthur Abraham. It wasn't prime James DeGale. But for a guy who can't box, how did he beat both of those guys? How did he beat both of those guys? We could go there. If we really want to go there about guys, if it wasn't for Eubank's chin, he wouldn't be where he is today. Well, if it wasn't for Carl Froch's chin, he won't be where he is today either because he had no defense. So these are lines that are spun, and these lines are spun to make people think that they're smart and intelligent. Not really, they're not, because it is what they are. Eubank does have a good chin. Froch does have a good chin, and that's what's made them who they are. So, and the other thing that people don't pay attention to is that the improvements that Eubank has made, nobody's going to give him credit for that. They're just taking him back to, oh, well, back in the day you did this. Well, back in the day you did that. Well, back in the day, Liam Smith was a punching bag for both Callum Smith, for Canelo and Hyman Gear. So can we talk about that? Oh, so what we talk about now? So we got someone here saying, because they are finished, he's a pressure fighter. If you're old fighting youngsters, you can't keep it up. So are you going to tell me Liam Smith is in the prime of his career? This what you're going to tell me? Liam Smith is in the prime of his career. These are his best days. Is this what you're going to tell me? I hope you keep it the same way when you come back after post-fight and don't go running anywhere. Because some people just want to talk for talking's sake. And, okay, let me give you some names. Well, Liam Smith could never beat James DeGale. Okay, let's put Liam Smith in the same night that Eubank fought James DeGale. In fact, let's put Liam Smith in the ring the same night that Eubank Jr. fought George Groves. Or the night Eubank Jr. fought Arthur Abraham. Would Liam Smith have beaten any of those guys? You can talk about he's not finished, this is the finish, that's finished. But that's where you gain experience. That's where you gain experience. So, what are you saying? Are you telling me that all the guys Liam Smith fought were prime. Okay, how many prime guys did Liam Smith beat? I don't understand it. Smith over Hill, fact. How can you still be in your prime taking the sort of punches and punishment? He got beat. Go back and look at the Hyman Gear fight for 1 second and just think to yourself, if Eubank is in there and putting them shots together, Smith is a good boxer. I like Liam Smith, but don't come and tell me that he's a superb boxer. When you're talking to me about skill sets, talk to me about Roy Jones too, talk to me about Pernell Whitaker, right? Talk about guys that make you miss and make you pay and do it at the highest level. Don't sit down. Even James DeGale. James DeGale will make you miss, make you pay, and make you look silly. Talk to me about that. At the highest level, James DeGale did that. He was doing that. Are you suggesting because he beat Fowler that he's got such a great skill set? Even in the Fowler fight, he was getting hit with big shots. He was walking through big shots against Fowler. Fowler. Come on. All these Smith brothers are just British level boxers. Other fact. Everyone loves Roy in the UK, but Chris can't learn that. Never in his life. He's not meant to learn that. Mate, I swear you sound like, what's this boy's name? Ruben Guerrero, just with a different name. That's what you sound like. Because you don't make sense. Why does everyone get caught up? So in that case, then, that let me give you an example. Let me think. Let me give you an example. Well, in that case, then, Joe Calzaghe should fight like his father. What has Joe Calzaghe done in his career? He's done what he's done in his career. What did his father do in his career? His father was a trainer. I don't understand the rubbish. Roy Jones is a trainer. He's a trainer who had a great boxing career. Buddy McGirt, another great boxer, right? Who's now, Buddy McGirt's what, 5'4", 5'6"? Callum Smith is like 6'3". Are you suggesting now Buddy McGirt, who's training Callum Smith, Callum Smith is trying to train like Buddy McGirt? I don't understand the whatlessness you're talking about, my friend. Real whatless talk. Whatless talk. Because Fowler's one of the best amateurs the country's ever seen. Really? What is he? Well, I thought Audie Harrison was one of the best boxers the country's ever seen. I thought James DeGale, who won a gold, James DeGale was one of the best boxers that Britain's ever seen. Those two guys are both gold medalists. Did Fowler win a gold medal at the Olympics? Hello? Hello, are you there? So was Frankie Gavin. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, mate. What about Agago? Agago. Yeah, Agago. Oh, God. Subway commercials, but now a wrestler. So, what are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? You sound like one of these guys that work for Sky, I swear. Like, you really do. Because it's absolute rubbish you're talking, mate. Absolute rubbish. What you have to understand is there are different people who move at different vibes. Look, Eubank is the kind of guy, and I understand him to the sense, to a point where you're looking for somebody that you can not only respect, but you feel you can learn from. That when they're talking to you, you respect where they've come from. You respect what they've achieved. That's just not in boxing. Let me give you another example. The cricketer Kevin Peterson from South Africa, great batsman, could hit the ball all over the place, take world-class teams apart. He's got a coach who's Peter Moores. Peter Moores at best was a county player, or what you'd call in England a domestic player, right? And then Peterson's like a world-class, legendary player. And you've got Peter Moores telling him how to play cricket or how to bat. He's like, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? What can you tell me? So you have that situation. And there's just some people in the world who are built that way. Eubank Jr. is one of those guys. He's one of those guys, you know? But I'm not condoning his behavior, nor am I ridiculing for it. It's just the way some people's mentalities are. This Toby don't know anything. Freddie Flintoff. Oh, yeah, it's another one. Freddie Flintoff, wasn't he working with the McGuigans? Jake Paul, one of the best Paul. Like, I think Jake Paul is a good boxer. I actually think Jake Paul's a good boxer. I don't think he's that bad. I just think he's come from the YouTube world and people don't like him. But I think he's a good, decent fighter. I think he's a decent fighter, Jake Paul. But I said that a long time ago. But there we go. Peterson fell out with him. Okay. So, back to my point. Okay, let me hear what he's going to say here. Anthony Fowler dominated amateur boxing in Britain. That's a fact, mate. Didn't do much in Olympics, but you should research it. He's a terrific Queensberry rules boxer. Why do you have to be insulting? It's just opinion. I'm not insulting you, mate, but I don't understand why people think they can come with an idea without thinking it through. At what point did Chris Eubank Jr. ever come out and say, did he ever come out and say, I want to box like Roy? And even if he does want to box like Roy, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with striking for greatness? I know that in the UK, there's a problem with people who want to strive for greatness, that mediocrity is celebrated, and that, unless the press tell you you're the best in the world, you can't be the best in the world, or you can't be the best at where you want to be. You have to get the acknowledgement from somebody in the newspapers. I ain't, mate. Don't take it bad. It ain't gospel. Don't preach it, baby. Let's move on to the next topic. It's only okay. The next segment. No, bro. We're on this same segment. Can somebody tell me, Liam Smith, where is this skill set? I want to see. I want to see this skill set, right? Because the name of the game is boxing is hit and not get hit. That's fundamental. 1, 2, 3, ABC. That's the first thing. Hit and not get hit, or hit the opponent more than he hits you. Not take a whole heap of punches, tuck up, put your hands around your earmuffs and still get hit, and keep getting hit, and hope that the other guy gets tired. Then you can land punches and take the guy out. Because that's what it seems to be. That's what it seems to be. That's what it seems to be with Liam Smith. I've got a good chin. I've got a good engine. I'm just gonna come walk you forward. Walk it down, and then hope to God that you can't punch hard enough to take me out of there, or hope to God that you can't outlast me, because if you don't outlast me, if you outlast me, you're gonna punching me up and beating me up, and you'll beat me. So it's proven if Smith can't hurt you, and you can hurt Smith. Well, that's the end of the story, really. There's no plan B in Smith's game plan. Smith can fight one way, and that's it. Smith can fight one way. And I couldn't believe a guy as basic as Jaime Munguia was walking Smith to the ropes. And he's vulnerable to body. Now, the one thing about Chris Eubank Jr., which, oh my God. Oh boy. Rotunda Gym, Joe Gallagher, world champion, sparring Callum. I think that's enough. That's enough what? What? Because he's sparring Callum Smith, that's enough for him to beat Chris Eubank. LOL. People are gassed because Corn Beefy's basketball quit in the corner. The Eubank Smith is a gimmick. The whole Ben drug exposure. Now Eubank pushing the gay agenda. It's all planned and fake. Why can't anybody see it? Well, yeah, that's the next point. Does it still come in a can? Now listen, I do want to come on to this next point. And it is something that was very disturbing at that press conference. If you go back and listen to that press conference carefully of Liam Smith, and I've said this before, and I've said it again, at press conferences and at face-offs, Liam Smith left himself wide open to be countered, in that press conference. The thing is, I asked the question before, and I asked the question again about where Liam Smith's head is. Why the hell are you don't like somebody because they're not your cup of tea? What crap is that? Are you there to be friends, or are you there to render the other guy unconscious? Because if you render the other guy, if you knock the other guy out, that's it. You're paid to knock another guy out, ultimately. You're paid to hit, not get hit, and inflict damage and stop your opponent. That is boxing. Where the hell did it come into you having to be friends and like one another? I don't understand it. Or personality, or be best mates, or we're going up the pub together. We're going to have a drink up the pub. You know what I mean? We're going up the Witherspoons together. What is that got to do with boxing? I want to know that. 1. 2. Who cares if Chris Eubank Jr. is sleeping with men, he's sleeping with women, he's sleeping with cats, he's sleeping with dogs, he's sleeping with donkeys, he's sleeping with giraffes, he's sleeping with elephants, he plays with himself? I don't care. I frankly don't give a damn. This is a boxing bout. What the hell has that got to do with whether you're going to win a fight within 12 rounds? Eubank, his beard, or his hairstyle, or what has that got to do with anything? If this was a fashion contest, maybe. If this was sports personality of the year, maybe. If this was you were hiring somebody to work alongside you in a business deal, I get it. But what the hell has this got to do with boxing? Liam Smith, what? I don't understand. You're looking across the room at a man and looking at his beard. If you don't like the person that much, you really wouldn't be focusing on the beard or focusing on his missus. Are you jealous? That's the sort of thing jealous people do. That's the sort of thing envious people do. Envious people look at you and say to you things like, you ain't got a girl. I mean, what has that got to do with boxing? And the thing about it is, it didn't make sense, because when Smith was saying what he was saying, it didn't correlate to a conversation. Smith kind of randomly came out about talking about Eubank's beard. I'm like, what the hell has that got to do with this conversation? It was like if somebody was reading off a script or said to him, right, say this to Eubank, say that to Eubank, and make sure you say this as well. Make sure you get that in as well. I'm like, listen, going, bro, it's like Liam Smith, Liam Williams, Spike O'Sullivan, like, you just have got it all. Why are you focusing on the man and not his ability? I don't understand. If anyone was homophobic, it was Liam. Absolutely. It was so scripted, just cringe. Smith shouldn't have said he was gay. If he can't take it back, is doing birds behind his kid's back, mum's back. Well, he shouldn't have said it. Shouldn't have said it in the first place. That's what I said. Smith was reaching. And if he reaches like that, I remember sitting down. I remember having this conversation about White and Parker. And Parker said, I've made it. I've achieved what I've got to achieve. I said, White's going to go in there and bully him. I'm telling you, if he's reaching now at a press conference and he sounded desperate reaching, let him go reach. Let him go reach out there. It would be funny. He's talking about body shots. It would be funny if Eubank folded Smith with a body shot. It'd be funny if Eubank out-jabbed Smith. It'd be funny if Eubank countered Smith and actually knocked Smith out with a counter check lift hook. It'd be funny because Smith is meant to be the better boxer in this fight. Remember, this is what it is. Smith's the better boxer. Eubank's the better brawler. I did not put that script together. Okay, because he's a gimmick. How tiring would it be if someone you're talking to just lied 24/7? Liam Smith would prefer not to do any promo and train. These are media obligations. Mate, media obligations is called being a professional. Bro, it's not media obligation. It's about you being a professional. Because if nobody knows who you are, you're not going to sell any tickets and nobody's going to care about you. And Liam Smith, let's be honest, when he went missing, people like, has this guy retired or what? So he openly admitted himself. He openly said, oh, you know, I'm glad I'm fighting now regularly because people can see me. Otherwise, people thought I retired or something. So yeah, I don't, mate. You're talking absolute. I don't know. Anyway, don't we all play with our selfies? Did you have a shake last night? Last night, yeah, I did actually. Quite good. I have one every night. You got it, mate. Got to have a shakeout. Got to have a shakeout. You reach Chris will teach. Rich Chris will teach. I'm shaking every night watching my bets. Funny ones. Eubank said he'll need to be 50% and Ben was a harder fight than Smith. Well, there's it unpredictably. First of all, Ben's coming up weight. Eubank was correct, wasn't he? About him being unpredictable. Imagine if Eubank got in the ring that night against that Conor Ben. Mate, don't worry. What he was saying was about 50%. Mate, boxing is about characters. If they all were Liam Smith, boxing would be extremely boring. So whether Chris is faking it, he's not faking it, I would run home to watch Chris Eubank fight. I like Liam Smith, but there's no way I'm not buying this pay-per-view for Liam Smith. Put it this way. And I like Liam Smith. And I wouldn't run home to watch Liam Smith, but I'd certainly run home to watch Chris Eubank Jr. He's entertaining. He's good to watch. He's funny. He makes you laugh. He has one-liners. I like to see his fights. Yeah? It was like, Eubank is like David Hay. You know, he sit down at press conferences. You just want to hear what he's going to say next, what funny thing he's going to say next. You know, I mean, when Hay and Bellew was going back and forth, I mean, it was hilarious stuff. When Hay and Chisora going back and forth, that was hilarious as well. And then when Fury and Hay were going back and forth, David Hay is, you know, it's good to sit and watch and listen to. So I don't know what people want in boxing, but I certainly like entertaining fighters. I like guys who are articulate. I like guys, even if they're not articulate, at least they're entertaining to listen to. I think Toby's Alan Smith, the Sky Sports commentator. Yeah, I think so too. Do you think Parker stops Messi? I do. I hope for his boxing career he does. Eubank wins this 7-8 TKO. Yep. He's laughing. I'm sure this is Ruben Guerrero. In fact, I'm convinced it's Ruben Guerrero because there's nobody else on the planet Earth that can speak with such confidence, but no substance. And it's just him. It's got to be him. Nobody else but him. It's got to be him because it don't make no sense. But again, what do you want in boxing? Why do you watch boxing? You watch boxing to see guys get knocked out. So Deontay Wilder gives you that. But no, he's not a very good boxer. So you got one of the greatest boxers of the modern era, Floyd Mayweather. Oh, he's boring. Well, why is he boring? Well, young Floyd Mayweather was very exciting. Pretty boy Floyd was very exciting. So I don't understand. What are you looking for? What's my thoughts on Glowacki fight? Well, I'm a Richard Riakporhe fan. I hope Richard's got his head together for the fight. He can turn your lights out at any point in time. He's moving up in world level now. I'm going with Riakporhe by knockout. Devastating. But we'll see. We'll see. Eubank wins. How? Richard Riakporhe. I've mentioned about Richard Riakporhe before. I rate him highly. I rate him highly, and I think he's going to go on to become world champion. But let's see. Let's see. Late stoppage. Okay. Glacki used to be on form. Richard would do him. I think so too. Okay. Oliver says Liam's too small. Can't hurt him. But we'll see. If he's going to go anywhere, it'll be to the body. That's what I think Liam Smith's going to aim for. But Liam Smith better watch his own body. He's talking about hurting Eubank to the body. Here are the punches to look out for Eubank versus Smith. Eubank, left hook, check left hook. As Smith overreaches or goes back in straight lines. Check left hook. Uppercut through Liam's guard. Or body shot. Those are the 3 shots. Lions in the camp, we're going to see. Took Grove's best shots. He did. But I just wonder, the only thing I just worry about Eubank is that at the middleweight. How tight is he at middleweight? That's the only thing I'm concerned with. Other than that, we'll see. They have made a very interesting point about Eubank. You don't see Eubank throwing loads of punches now like he used to early in his career. But I don't know if that's because Roy's got him fighting to a game plan or it's because Eubank can't do it the way he used to. We'll see. London is getting KO. So that's it. I think that's it for me. Again, don't forget to rate and subscribe and leave your comments as always. Please do leave your predictions in the comment section and how you see the fight going. And good luck to Liam Smith. I hope that Liam Smith doesn't become a cropper to his own words in this fight. And if they're both weighing the same, people say now Liam Smith is the same weight as Chris Eubank and stuff, we'll see. If Liam comes in with that trademark cage defense to attack the body, he's going to walk onto some of the best shots in the Eubank arsenal. I've said it already. And when he gets hit by Eubank, watch it. When he gets hit with one shot, he's lucky. With Hyman Gear, he's lucky. Right? Because if Hyman Gear was Eubank Jr., he would have got stopped early. When Chris hits him with one, he'll hit him with another 4 and 5. Wait. Round 9. If he plods towards him, Liam will struggle. That's it. All Eubank has to do is walk towards Liam Smith. Walk him back. And when he gets into ropes, whack them body shots in. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Eubank by stoppage. Yeah. But I do like Liam Smith. I just don't like him for this particular fight. Thank you all for watching. As always, this has been BWTM Sports Gaming.